Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Coaching Corner with me, Tracy Forsyth. I am the founder of Fast Track to Fearless, and my purpose is to relieve self-critical overachievers from the burden of self-doubt and perceived limitations so that they can fly forward and spread their talents to the world. And one of the things that I'm talking today about is this time of year, we often start to think about January, and we often start to think of New Year's resolutions and what next year is going to be like. And, oh, sorry, my dog is snoring. I don't know whether you can, she's like snoring away. So if you can hear something in the background, that's her snoring. Anyway, so January is in our minds already and about what we want to do next year. And there's often a lot of chat about setting an intention, doing New Year's resolutions, just thinking how next year is going to be different. And I wanted to share with you a technique which I wholeheartedly believe in. And it's often referred to as manifesting or visioning what success looks like. So I do absolutely believe that manifesting or thinking about having a clear picture in your mind about what success looks like really helps you focus on what your goals are and what's on your to-do list. And there are two things that I recommend. One is a very famous book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. He's like one of the greats in terms of personal development, professional development. And one of his 7 habits is to begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. And if you think about it, it's not just about New Year's resolutions or it can be big or small, beginning with the end in mind. It's sort of like if you build it, they will come. Do you remember that movie, that Kevin Costner movie where he had a vision about building, I think it was like a baseball stadium in the middle of nowhere. And but it was very much if you build it, they will come. And they came. But it's the same sort of thing in terms of like really beginning with the end in mind is really have a think about what is the end that you are wanting. And I don't mean like end, well, you can go all the way through to the end. But in terms of like, say, this time next year, where would you like to be? What would you have liked to have happened? If you're sitting down at the end of next year or thinking about sitting down at the end of next year and thinking, what does success look like? Then what is it? What does it look like? And write it down. Have a think about that. Begin with the end in mind. And the other one I want to mention is a fantastic book that I was recommended to read by one of my coaches, Laurie Beth Jones. I hope she's watching. She's been a great influence to me. And one of the books that she recommended was a book called The Path by Laurie Beth Jones. The Path by Laurie Beth Jones. And actually, I think Laurie Beth Jones is on LinkedIn, as is Mary Beth Jones. So if you want to check them both out, please do. But Laurie Beth Jones wrote this book called The Path, and it is all about how to set not only a mission statement, which is sort of like your reason for being, your purpose in life, but also she has a method in there called how to do a vision statement. So I'm just going to give you the bare bones, but I really recommend that you buy that book. I use that method all the time. And it is about imagining you are wherever it is in the future, say like this time next year, and everything that you have wanted in terms of what's important to you, what you like to do, the kind of impact that you want to have is happening. And her method is to, I hope I'm doing it justice, is to write down almost like a day in your life. Like, where are you? What kind of meetings have you got? What kind of environment are you in? Who are you with? What kind of food are you eating? What kind of things do you do outside of work? So really think about all aspects of your life. We're whole people. We're not just a career. We have we have other people in our lives. We may have friends. Well, hopefully we've got friends. We may have families. We may have pets. We have hobbies and interests, all of those things. So really envisage yourself in a year's time when things have really, really gone the way you would really, really want them to have gone. And imagine yourself in the present tense. You write it down in the present tense as if it's already happening. So I think it's such a great way to kind of manifest. I think that's the word that we use now in terms of envisaging the future. So really stop and think. Two things. One, begin with the end in mind. What is the end? What is the end that you would really, really want? And the second thing is to use Laurie Beth Jones's method in terms of a vision statement, is just really, really picture yourself there. Like, I like to think of kind of think of like what I'm going to be wearing, what I'm going to be eating, what I'm going to see if I walk out and about, how I'm going to have, what I'm going to be doing with my downtime, what kind of meetings, what kind of conversations I'm going to be having. So create a vivid as a picture as possible. And one of the things, and I can't remember whether this is Laurie Beth Jones or not, it's sort of like in terms of how we see what the present and the future is. Often we're very, very focused on the present right in front of us. And so all the things that we're doing all our focus is on the present. And if you think about that vision, I think this is Laurie Beth's method. If you think about the vision, normally the vision is something that's over here. So in my room, like over here. But actually, the more vivid that picture becomes, the more it comes to the front of our mind, and our focus is on making the future vision happen, rather than the day-to-day thing, that the hamster wheel that we're on. I hope I've done that justice. So basically, manifest this as you go into middle of December and start thinking about January, whatever you want to call it. Manifest. Start thinking about your vision for the end of next year. Begin with the end in mind. I'm just mixing up everybody's ideas here, but I think it works. Is begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey, vision statement, mission statement, Laurie Beth Jones from The Path. And then what that means is, when you've got a very, very clear and vivid picture of how you would want things to be, how you really want things, it just helps with figuring out what the clarity of direction, and it helps figure out what your priorities are. And so the second thing here is just not only manifest what it is, but actually, when you manifest something, when you really think about that vision, just don't expect it just to happen on its own. You have to put in those sort of like step-by-step goals in order to step-by-step things in order to get there. So I like that other expression. I'm really coming out with them today. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So if I'm really going to mix it up, if you think about your journey of 1,000 miles is the end in mind, is the thing that you're envisaging. But don't forget to work out, well, okay, if I want to be there now, then what do I have to start doing now? So I think it's about consistency. So to me, actually, my 3 key words are clarity, courage, and consistency. So clarity, doing that envisaging, that beginning with the end in mind, gives you that clarity of vision. And then the courage comes because it's something that you really hold dear. It's something that's meaningful to you. It probably is in line with your values. So the courage, and then comes the steps to get there consistently. And I find it's much easier to be consistent if you have a clear goal in mind. Anyway, I am hoping all of that makes sense. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you need any help at all thinking about or helping you to clarify your vision, clarify those steps, do book in with me for a discovery call. It's free. There are many different ways that I can help you. So do that. And if you have any questions for Coaching Corner, let me know. Just direct message me or put them in the comments or whatever. Okay, so this is me, Tracy Forsyth, founder of Fast Track to Fearless, checking out. And actually, it would be great just to know if you do those exercises, or you read either of those two books, please do let me know, and let me know what you found useful. Okay, take care. Bye.